So I'm going to start a series of videos where I make 4 bowls. So I have 1 log of English Walnut and 1 log that was Beech. They're both still wet, about 30% moisture content. So that's a thing. However, I'm going to try and turn them thin and let them naturally dry and warp is the goal. In each one I want to do a regular bowl and then a natural edge bowl. So they both came from the same log. I cut it in half and they'll be like a matching pair. 1 natural edge and 1 just normal. And like I said, Beech and English Walnut. So that's the kickoff for this, calling it the 4 bowl challenge, but I'm not challenging anybody right now. This one, the bark's kind of messed up a little bit, so I'll probably be using this one for the natural edge and this one for regular. Like that. And then these are Beech and a real thin, not very interesting bark on there, so it doesn't really matter which one's which. Alright, so I'm going to get to turning. I'll probably start with the English Walnut. I've never turned that before. And I hope you stick around and watch the video and catch all the other videos that come out. It's 700 RPM. So I've gotten most of the bark off, or all the bark off. It's not punky, but it's punky looking on this end grain. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. Hopefully it's not all like that, because I have 5 or 6 pieces that I want to use. I'm going to use a recess for all the bowls. Like I said, I'm not going to let them dry and return them. Just going to finish turn them from their 33% moisture content and then let them dry naturally. Alright, so I went through with the scraper and scraped the outside, the bottom, and it really feels like it's dry, but moisture meter says no. So now I'm going to sand it, and hopefully that cleans up this rough end grain portion, and then I'll flip it around. So I just finished sanding it up to 400 grit, and it's acting pretty dry. I don't know if my moisture meter's broken or what. I'm going to just put some denatured alcohol on it, get rid of the sawdust, raise the grain, then go back over at 400 grit. So I still have to finish sanding, but I want to show you what the wood looks like. I personally think it's ugly, but hopefully the inside will look different. Especially when I come down and shape the bottom of the bowl, and you can see more of this grain. Alright, so I have it flipped around. Just wanted to show you zero down moisture meter, and putting it here, it reads 36% and 33%. And I have this wood that I know is dry. Been sitting down here forever, and it's like 3%. So I don't know. It's not really acting wet, but it says it's wet. Alright, I have the rim just below where the pith was. When I cut it in half, I didn't get exactly through the pith, so I'm happy with the height. Maybe, no, I still got some chainsaw marks here, so a little more off the height, and then I'll start working on shaping. So originally my goal was to make it almost translucent thin. I've decided I'm not going to do that with these bowls. I'm going to make it thinner than used to, so I can practice. So that actually feels pretty good, going down the outside curve. about here. See it that deep. That same curve. I gotta check the full depth, how deep I can go before I make a funnel. And so I want to keep that same 1/4 inch thickness. The bowl right now is 2 3/4, so 2.5 inches would be the final depth. However, I have the recess taking up about, let's say, 1/4, just to be safe. So now I can only go 2 1/4 inches deep. 1/2 inch with 1/4 thickness and 1/4 for the recess. So 2 1/4, and right now I'm 1 7/8. So I have 3/8 inch of an inch to go, and so I'm going to work on that. Alright, so I went through and scraped the inside and got everything nice and smooth, the thickness even all the way down. It ended up coming out to 1/4 inch. The chuck jaws are too close together, and I can't fit my thickness gauge in between the jaws to check the depth of the bottom, but I'm pretty sure it's close. So I'm going to go through and now sand the inside, and then contemplate whether or not I want to put a finish on it. Originally I was just going to let them air dry naturally, but I think I might end up putting a finish on. So I just sanded up through 400 grit and gave it a wipe down with denatured alcohol, and I'm going to go over it one more time. I did get a little bit of that side grain to show through. It's really kind of got a weird color. I don't know if you can really see it all that well with the camera. It's kind of like brown, maybe, or maybe it's just the alcohol. So I took it off the lathe, got it finished. It does feel pretty even. The thickest part's right here where the bowl goes nice and slowly slopes in, but there's an abrupt corner here where it's not in here. So this part's a little bit thicker, but overall the wall thickness is even. So I took it off the lathe just in case it dries overnight and I have it in the chuck and it shrinks. I don't want it to split or break. If it's going to move, I'd rather have it just out in the open. So I'm going to leave it overnight, see if it moves at all, and then I'll probably just put like Howard's Feed and Wax or something for a finish. I'll show you that. The next clip will be tomorrow, but it's done. It started out, I believe it was 8-inch circle that I cut, and now it's 7 inches, or 17 3/4 centimeters, and the height is 6.5 centimeters, or 2 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to leave it overnight, let it move if it's going to move, dry any that it's going to dry, and then I'll put Howard's Feed and Wax on tomorrow. But you'll see that next. Alright, so it's the next morning. It didn't look like it warped too much, so I'm going to put the Howard's Feed and Wax on, let that sit for 20-30 minutes, and then buff it out. Ooh, shake it. Alright, so I'm going to let that sit for, like I said, 20-30 minutes, and then come back and just buff it out with a dry, clean rag a couple times till nothing else comes off. And we'll leave it like that. Alright, so I've let the feed and wax sit in for a while, and now I'm just going to go over it, and any excess that hasn't soaked in, take it up with a dry towel. And then we're done. First bowl down. Next bowl coming up soon.